there, one and all. You're watching Culturally Sarawak with me, Lofrine, where we have been discovering the variety of musical instruments that we have in our wonderful state. We have covered so many thus far, so let's make today a special one by discussing on the issues surrounding our traditional music. For that, we have invited two very special guests with us today. Let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Connie Lim and also Mr. Narawi Rashidi. Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, how are you?
Great.
How are you, sir? Yeah. Okay, so for our audience out there, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Connie. I'm currently serving as a music lecturer at Faculty of Applied and Creative Arts, University Malaysia, Sarawak.
And I'm Narawi. I'm still in a service with Sarawak Culture Village. I'm heading the Cultural Activity Department. And in 1998, I formed a group by the name of Tukuk Kame, which we represent Malaysia to Los Angeles for the World Championship of Performing Art.
That's awesome. Now, tell us the book that we have right here with us.
I started writing this book somewhere around 2014, and then as my years being a lecturer, we always encourage students to discover themselves, discover about their culture, about what is surrounding them, what is worth to document, and then what is worth to look into, to analyze more. And then students will come back to me, is about our Sarawak music, about literature is quite limited. And it's not easy to also, even though recordings is also not publicly available for students to access. And in year 2014, I worked together with Narawi, were in this National Occupational Skills Standards in doing the syllabus for vocational studies for music instrument making and traditional ensemble. And then we found that there's a column of why we come to references that we need to find some useful references, especially on performing traditional music and also something on our local music. Well, we said, if there's no resources, why not we write something? And my colleague, who is a conductor of Malaysia Traditional Orchestra, said, why not? Don't wait, write something. So we said, okay, we start from something sape that is popular, which is an icon of Sarawak. So that's how we started writing.
I see. What about you, Mr. Narawi? How did you came across this?
Actually, I done my research on the sape in 1990s with our sape master to Sapadan, the late sape master Sapadan. And then I wrote actually not this thick, just a few pages, and then Dr. Connie came to me and then sharing our ideas with Sophie also. Then that's how the book come over.
I see. It's a very extensive book. It's quite researched, and I also have one of it that I got from Sophie as well. So I have to ask, how did you start in the industry?
How do I start? Oh, okay. I am a performance-based student while I'm doing my bachelor studies. So while doing masters, I'm trying to look for something that I can discover myself about culture. So in my master's study, I ventured into ethnomusicology, a new field that is a combination of ethnography or ethnology, about a field of cultural studies about people and music. So we studies about how the function of music traditionally and culturally, and how music being performed, why music is sung in that way, and then different musical instruments, different roles and different functions, and then look into their calendars years, and then how music plays a role in festivals, in their cycle of life.
Yeah, that's wonderful. What about you, though?
I started my music in 1979. I joined the youth Sabakas. Actually, I'm playing a modern musical instrument, the brass, the saxophone, trumpet. And then later, I joined the Ministry Social Development, where I learned a lot of traditional instrument. I learned about the sape, about the accordion, the gendang, and everything about traditional. That is how I started my music career.
I see. That's really wonderful. Now let's get straight to it. Your challenges. What are some challenges that you face as someone who fight for the preservation of traditional music? Yeah.
Well, I think as time goes by, traditional music change. I think now is to rediscover the roots of this, to trace back what's the values behind, what is, because music plays a role of a culture, because some stories and then about their ancestors, about their cosmological views, about, and then, you know, how the challenge behind, I think, is to persuade the younger generation, to persuade the older generation to sing, and then how to bridge across these two generations, because I found that their language they use is not a normal conversation language. So somebody needs a mediator in between to get to know, to interpret what is the meaning of it. Yeah, also for the older people, because it's no longer being practiced already. So it's a challenge also to get them to recall their memories.
I see. And we'll get more detail about this, but we have to take a break for now, so stay tuned and don't go anywhere. We are back on Culturally Sarawak with me, Lofrine, Dr. Connie, and also Mr. Narawi, as we talk about the issues of traditional music in Sarawak. So, Mr. Narawi, in today's landscape, how is the acceptance of traditional music in Sarawak?
When I started my music in 70s, I can see only a veteran play the musical instrument, the traditional musical instrument, until for another 10 years. Then when our group, we promote the sape. Our aim is to promote the sape to the world industrial, the music industrial. Okay, so that we try to blend the sape into a modern music. We try to, how at that time sape is different, no standard tuning.
Yeah.
All sape players, they have their own tuning, not like guitar. Guitar they have a standard. So we try to do a little bit modification for the sape, so that sape can go along with the piano or other instrument. So during that time, when I create the Tuku Kami, we perform contemporary music. We are playing jazzy, you know, funky. So that is to encourage the young generation to play the traditional. We must go into their world, because the young people at that time they don't accept the traditional instrument, but we must go into their genre. They are rockers, they are whatever, heavy metal. So we bring the sape into their life. So we try to play together with them.
Yeah.
That is encouraging them to play the traditional. And then I think about 15 to 10 years, the music, the traditional music was accepted into a modern pop song. You know? Our artists, our Malaysian artists, they try to bring in the sape into their album, their music.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Dr. Connie, based on your experience, how strong is the tie between music and culture in Sarawak?
Traditional music, especially the sound of sape, is always heard in TV commercials, especially during the festival season, especially Gawai, that represents Sarawak, even though Malaysia, truly Asia, tourism icon, promoting Malaysia, promoting Sarawak. Sape is always as an icon to represent Sarawak. Like if you have paid attention to the past Rainforest Music Festival logo, well, that's a sape.
For Culturally Sarawak viewers out there, we have a special treat prepared by none other than Mr. Narawi himself, so enjoy. was a special presentation prepared by Mr. Narawi himself, and it's just a short one. If you want the full one, go to YouTube, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so for the video, because our audience are not familiar with it, can you tell us about the process?
The video, I call it Hello Sarawak, Datun Julut, the exploration, where during the PKP last year March, I doing nothing at home, so this is where my idea, because I found that rainforest will not be in 2020.
Yeah.
So I try to bring over into online all the musician, but using the Datun Julut, the Orang Ulu music. So I did the master track that I sent to all over the world. So they responded about 25 musicians from 17 countries respond to my music.
Yeah.
So they send, everybody send to me, then I do the editing. I did the conceptualize of the music, and then I did on my own editing. So that is Hello Sarawak.
I see. Datun Julut is indeed a very beautiful, piece. So we'll be cutting to another short break, but sit back, relax, and please stay with us on Culturally Sarawak. You're watching Culturally Sarawak with me, Lofrine, Dr. Connie, and also Mr. Rashidi, as we talk more about the issues surrounding traditional music in Sarawak. So, Dr. Connie, what support are needed in promoting local culture and music to international level?
I think first of all, we should start from our locally Sarawak first. I mean, local association like National Association, like Orang Ulu Association should, from different regional or their chapters, should take up the initiative to support their local musicians from different era, bring them and then together to play together, have different events like Sabe showcase, Sabe competition, or Sabe workshop, or how to promote in musical instrument making, or to fund them to produce recordings or producing singers through YouTube. And then I really urge like local NGOs also can work together. With media companies should play Sabe music more and more, and then become an anthem of generation. And also, I would say local conglomerates, corporates can even consider to have Sabe music or something that culturally sounds bonito to be embedded into their corporate songs, or maybe can even consider to fund or to sponsor under corporate social responsibility.
We also need the local broadcast provider to help us to play all our music product, local folk song in the radio, in the TV.
Yeah, I agree. And do you have any advice to others who wish to promote traditional music?
They should go on, and because not much producer would like to do on traditional. They like to do on more on modern music. But for the local producer who wish to do the traditional item product, they must do it.
I agree. So, thank you for taking the time to join us in the show, Dr. Connie and Mr. Narawi. It really is an honor to have you with us in the studio. And that's all we have for Culturally Sarawak. Thank you for tuning in week by week. Please continue to support and uphold our musical instruments, because our culture is our identity, and it is up to us to tell the stories of our ancestors. Follow us at TVS TV My on Instagram, and me at Lofrine. If you have a traditional musical instrument you want to showcase, maybe it's your own, or maybe you just want to show us your musical talent, just post it up with the hashtag Culturally Sarawak. It has been a pleasure and honor. My name is Lofrine, and this is Culturally Sarawak.